So hey everyone, for the first time ever, I'm doing like a non-video game video. But anyway, just finished watching season 3 of Cobra Kai, and like I need to talk about it to someone. The time is 12:57 a.m. on the 2nd here in Sydney. It dropped at 7 p.m. on the 1st for us because time zones. So it actually was a perfect time to watch it. So for once in like, my screen is really dirty. Yeah, for the first time in like forever, there's been a benefit to being in Australia. When you drop like midnight US time, it's a perfect time to binge it. 1 a.m.'s fine, right? It's the 2nd of January. So first up, it was worth the wait. So what? It's been 18 months nearly since season 2 dropped, and yeah, it's definitely my favorite season ever. Okay, so we'll be going into spoilers, so just click off. Like, you don't want any more spoilers than out there. I wish I could go back in time and not watch all the trailers and all the little videos and clips and all that got released in the last 2 weeks, because it kind of ruined some surprises for me. But overall, it was awesome. So I'm going to do some sort of character breakdowns. We'll start with some of the minor characters. So, Chris and Arseface, or I guess Penis Breath, as he's now known. I should probably look up his real name. It was a great arc, and really happy to sort of see the two of those get to a resolution. And you could sort of see they had sort of that, complementary storylines where Arseface is sort of a season behind Chris, but both of them sort of realizing the errors of the Cobra Kai way. Next up is Bert and the other little kid. So you got the little white kid and the little Asian kid. Again, it was kind of cool to finally see them get to get their issues resolved. Bert, which I think is the white one with glasses, got a lot more dialogue in this season. I kind of really like it. I see these two characters hopefully being set up as that next generation. I'm making the assumption they're quite a lot younger. The other guys, let me know if you actually know their ages, but based on sort of their height and their build, they obviously seem like they're maybe like 12 or 13 compared to the other guys who, in universe around 17. So that's probably, they've only got one tournament left in them. So these guys can hopefully be that sort of, if we get there, season 5, 6, 7 kind of thing. So it's kind of cool to start them build up a little bit more character. Who else? Trying to go through some of the minor characters. So Kyler, and I don't know his name, but the other sort of big bully from season 1, making a comeback. I think his the real life actor's name is called Bo something. But anyway, kind of like seeing Bo get the shit kicked out of him. So yeah, that was in the trailer when Hawk's going nuts. Frankly, Bo deserved it. Kyler, again, I kind of like his character. Glad they sort of brought him back in season 3. I don't see him playing a major role in season 4 and beyond. Like, he's still there, of course, as you guys know of watching it, but like, just given the Cobra Kai lineup, he's probably just someone in the minors in the background and no one really that important. Probably the next other major characters from season 1 was Moon and Yasmin. I mean, Moon, they kind of didn't really do much with her. She kind of had that funny scene in the first episode with the whole hippie thing. I don't know, maybe given the resolution of Hawk at the end of the season, maybe Moon will get back together with Hawk. I kind of like that. I think they're kind of a cute couple, and I'll go into Hawk a bit later, because he's definitely, spoiler alert, my favorite character. for the season by far. Anyway, with Yasmin, I felt she was kind of shoehorned. Like they didn't really know for a way to get her into the season. I didn't really buy that relationship with Dimitri. Dimitri is someone who's starting to grow on me a little bit more. I really didn't like him in season 2. I thought he was sort of played very neurotic. Gianni, whatever his name, is a great actor, and it's kind of intended to be written that way. But I didn't really like him that much. This season he seemed a little bit more mature, a little more grounded. It makes sense, they're a little bit older, they're just gone through a pretty big experience with the school fight. And that's kind of the season in general, right? It's just all about that aftermath, as the first episode is titled. But yeah, anyway, so go on. Aisha sort of being cut out of the season. It's very interesting. It totally makes sense in universe that some parents would just say, we're getting the hell out of Dodge, right? We're getting you out of this school. It'd kind of be nice to see her sort of make a cameo in season 4, where I'm sure the sort of final episode is the All Valley, right? It takes us 1 season to have our first All Valley, and now looking like 3 seasons to get our second. We'll see what happens with that. Other than that, there was a bunch of other randoms sort of in there. I don't really know their names. I don't really care about them too much. Anyway, whatever. Move on to some of the, I guess, the secondary supporting cast. And let's talk about Tori. Man, they're really writing her to just be cray, right? Like absolutely batshit crazy girl. Peyton List did a great job. I know she had some sort of scheduling conflicts filming in Australia, actually, if I read the sort of reports correctly. And yeah, it seemed like it went pretty well for her. The scenes she did have were really good. She's still in it a lot, which sort of shows you that she's sort of a very pivotal character. But yeah, overall, yeah. They're setting up an obvious setup of a relationship between Tori and Robbie in season 4. The signs are all there. I don't know if I love that, and that's probably my one sort of negative point on this series as a whole, is that the child relationships aren't that great. They don't really feel authentic. Maybe a bit of recommendation or advice is, I don't know, I'm old, man. Like, I'm in my 30s, which I guess is old, right, for compared to who these actors are playing, but it just didn't really reflect on, like, my experience in high school that I barely remember. It just seems very, I don't know, it's missing that authentic factor that you see with some of those, the adult relationships, which I think are written very well. So yeah, like, the Dimitri and Yasmin, the Tori and Robbie setup, the Miguel and Sam reunion, which they tried to make Sam likable in this season, and I don't know, I'm not there yet. I've known many Sams in my lifetime, and it's written that way, right? But I can't get quite on board with her yet. But anyway, I don't want to be someone who bashes on her, because there's plenty of people that do that much better. Whatever. I don't personally like her as a character, and that's probably the way the writers are intending it, right? Leave it at that. Let's move on to Miguel. Loved Miguel in this season. I think obviously it's a very sped up timeline that, to get him recovered. So, he's kicking ass in that final episode. But, it is what it is. The only thing is that relationship thing. I like him as a character. he's shown a lot of growth and maturity, and I'm very excited to see what season 4 holds, which we'll get to. And I don't even know how long this is going on for. Oh god, I've already talked about this for 10 minutes. Like, this is how insane it is. Okay. Move on to some of the final characters. Hawk. My favorite character, Hawk. So, I kind of loved... So the end result was like, hey, he leaves Cobra Kai, right? And they kind of planted those seeds throughout the season where he was at conflict with himself, right? And that was the theme of this season. Sam was at conflict with herself, with her sort of like PTSD of like giving into fear, which is like the theme of season 3, right? With Daniel being scared of what was that guy's name? I don't know, the blonde kid that Terry Silver hired. Yeah, anyway, Mike Barnes. Yeah, so you saw some parallels there, which was amazing to see. I'm kind of excited where his character's going to grow. Quickly on the Chosen and the Comico sort of little spot. They were in about 2 episodes. I thought it was brilliantly done. Comico, both of those actors are fantastic, and it seems like it's a one-and-done thing, but it's really disappointing. Lots of little throwbacks when he's in Okinawa, which is sort of the ice blocks, which was just the way to sort of like, put the ice cubes in the glass. It's like a little miniature display on the counter. I thought that was very cool. Very, very cool throwback. I really like that sort of turn where a lot of people tin hat foil theories around like what that trailer was about, where Comico is like, oh hey, like I can help you with that, and in the end it was just like, hey man, like Miyagi wrote, I can't think of the aunt's name, right, but they obviously loved each other. It's like I have a whole bunch of letters from him, like that I got as part of the house in the inheritance. Like you can read some letters. That sort of final letter is they needed a way for Daniel to kind of like realize that, like, he has what it takes within him, right? True karate, your best karate is still in here. So Daniel, I'll take it. It's definitely one of those like Chekhov's guns, like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, let's just like throw something in there to sort of solve this problem that we've put ourselves in. Overall, loved Chosen as well. Probably my favorite character from the original Karate Kid universe. It probably goes, even the entire universe is like Hawk number 1, Chosen number 2. Like, and after season 3, that's much further apart because Hawk is the best. I think I talked about Hawk, right? But like badass, yes. But Chosen, loved kind of the theme of like, the whole like the pressure points thingy. I don't even know if that's actually a thing with karate. I'd love to explore more around that. That scroll that Chosen gives Daniel at the end of the Okinawa episode, which I think was second one, which was like episode 4 or 5. They all just bled together. Like that's the thing. Let's see. Episode 5. So I've got the phone out here just to sort of double check. Let's see what that is. I'm really wondering what that is all about. Where are we? Robbie? I mean, everyone, you need a heel, right? You need someone who's going to be set up as the villain. It's someone you kind of get it on some level as to why he's making the decisions he does, but I don't know, man, like, Robbie, like, you just need to chill out. It is what it is, man. So, he's been obviously going to be set up as the big bad of season 4. The sort of Robbie and Tori being set up as the big bads of Cobra Kai now, which it makes sense, right? thematically, and that's what I was saying about Kyla probably not going to play much of a role in terms of being like a major Cobra Kai character, just because you got Tori and Robbie there, which are main characters. So, right, let's move on to some of the adults. Carmen. Loved Carmen in this season. They did play the whole like overly aggressive female role where like Carmen initiated the relationship, or like the instigation of them hooking up, which is a movie thing. It doesn't happen in real life, but I get it with Carmen because Carmen is a badass. And let's just say like season 3, the major sort of adult female characters, so Komiko, Carmen, Amanda, and Ali Mills, all did a stellar job. Like, damn, they all had great scenes, great roles, great writing for those. It's kind of really good to see them be badasses. But Carmen, overall, perfect sort of character. It's just like, hey, like, I'm a mother, I'm worried, I'm scared. And obviously, like, hey, man, like, I really appreciate this father figure coming into Miguel's life and supporting him, and that's obviously a thing that she cares about. So that's kind of how like Johnny lands someone well above his league. Don't get me wrong, like William Zack is still like a hot dude, right, for his age. Amanda, loved it. That slap was brilliant, and again, I wish that wasn't in the trailer, because that moment I was like, yes, 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 yes. Now I'm trying to think of why the slap happened now, and it just all ran together. There were so many fights. You could do like a 10-minute, 15-minute video on each of the fights in this season. I think it was after the laser tag fight. Yeah, she's just like, F this. Daniel was still in Okinawa and Japan. They did do that ass pull with Daniel getting like the girl that he saved in Karate Kid 2 is now like super high up in the auto company, and that's how he gets the deal. It's like, hey man, karma, I guess. But again, it's a total ass pull. Love the flip on Okinawa on the whole. It's now like all like, it's now basically an entire shopping district. It's all been developed up, and it kind of makes sense. It was what Sato was talking about, and it kind of shows like over time things progress, things change, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's always a bad thing. So that was kind of cool to see. I like that sort of, they didn't really play into the whole, oh yeah, everything's still back to normal, and it's not like, how the Lord of the Rings circumnavigated the scouring of the Shire, and like, oh, everything is perfect in the Shire. Like, that's not how things go. Things change, and you got to grow with it sometimes, right? So Amanda, badass. Love to sort of approach to everything. Love how she came around the concept of like the crazy crazy karate sensei thing. Thought that was a very cool like moment. I think Amanda shone in this season. She's number 3 favorite character this season. Hawk, Johnny Lawrence, Amanda, like top 3 characters this season. Loved Amanda this season. Anthony losing all that weight. What the heck is with that? Like, you barely recognize him. It's just that he's sort of got that pale face and the brown eyes. Like, I almost needed to double check on IMDb. And that's the thing. There's sort of like a lot of people you can sort of see, hey, they're growing up, they're aging, and that's probably the one thing that doesn't make sense in that we saw Anthony in episode 9 or 10 of season 2, which was in theory near the start of the school year, so late August, early September, if that's the way the weird American system works. I don't know, man. Not an American rant video. And then we're into what could theoretically be only between September and December, because the last episode is on December 19. So let's even just say November, December to be generous. He's lost a lot of weight in August, September, October. like 4 months. Like he's lost like half his body weight. Like I don't know, like 50 pounds, guys. I don't know. Whatever diet programs he's on, um, send it to the world, man. Because if you can lose that much weight in 4 months, obviously 12 months between shooting, but good on him. He sort of got himself a bit healthier, which is good to see, right? Obviously, be comfortable with who you are and all that. But it's good to see him. Get a little bit fitter, get a bit healthier. It's good for him. It obviously will mean he'll have less health complications down the track. Good on the kid. All right, move on to the sort of the main three adults. Kreese, man, like that character. It was great to see his backstory. I think it kind of showed you why he is the way he is, but he was a bit comic book supervillain in a lot of ways. I don't know. I think that's probably where they missed the beat, where there wasn't quite that connection between his level of insanity and intensity of like, what, he's going to solve the world's problems by teaching a bunch of kids to like, and oh man, I'm just moving my laptop onto my lap. Like, I don't really quite get the leap, and maybe season 4 will help pad that out. But you kind of see like the guy does have some PTSD or something like that, which obviously a lot of people who are returning from war have. It's sad in a way because it kind of shows you that perhaps he could have got some more help to help him overcome this sort of, I guess, this state that he's being put in because of the traumatic events. And damn, was it traumatic. Again, I have no idea whether those sort of things happened in Vietnam. I love the sort of the, what do you call it, like the red herring that they sort of put in there, that the guy with the ponytail in the past, you're thinking, oh, that looks exactly like Terry Silver, but no, he gets killed. And then there's the other young kid with the lisp, who they don't quite say it's Terry Silver. Maybe I didn't hear it. Like, I just watched it all through. I'm sure, like, maybe IMDb or something like will list the character name. It doesn't. They don't really mention it in the credits. But obviously that guy seems like to be Terry Silver, and they're looking like there's a setup in season 4 with him, Kreese calling Terry Silver at the end. Well, you assume it's Terry Silver. It all sort of connects the dots and makes sense, and I kind of like that. The guy who plays Terry Silver, I can't think of his name right now, but like he's actually a full-on martial artist, like black belt or something, in like I think like a couple different disciplines, not just karate. So I think it'll be great to have someone who has that sort of action and intensity, and you could kind of see that like when William Zabka fights. It's so much better than, say, like when Ralph Macchio or Martin Kove does. And obviously Martin Kove is getting up there in years. He's still very fit. But if you look at what Martin Kove and Ralph Macchio are doing compared to what Pat Morita was doing back in the Karate Kid movies, like they're still doing much better. And, Pat Morita, all due respect to him, like, he wasn't a karate fighter at all. He was a comedian. And that was kind of a thing, and stellar performance, but like he wasn't a stunt guy, right? And you can see when the stunt cuts are there. Hopefully with Netflix, putting up a bit more dollars, they can do a little bit of a better job. It takes you out a little bit. I think if you're not looking for it, or if you don't know that they're stunt doubles, then you probably won't even recognize it. That's maybe me just having a little bit more attention to detail, being a little bit more nerdy and aware of these characters. But yeah, Ralph as a character was kind of good. And maybe I'll talk about Daniel and Johnny Lawrence together, right? And I'll say Johnny Lawrence because we learn, of course, when John Kreese was younger, he was called Johnny too. Um, it was great to see that arc come together finally, and I'm sure there'll still be some heads butting. I love that Ali Mills used that line in season 10, which is like, oh, like, there's actually three sides to the story. There's your side, his side, and there's the actual truth. And it's really funny because I say that line to people all the time when they're like trying to debate something or trying to tell, there's two people fighting and I'm kind of stuck in the middle or something like that. Like, dude, you're both only telling me half the story. There's a truth in the middle. And I think that was really nice. I think Ralph's moment with Miguel was long overdue. It's good to kind of see that moment where like Sam in season one's so afraid to even introduce Miguel to her father, and then like in season 3 they're just having a bit of a chat in the car. So it was good to see. Johnny Lawrence again. It was kind of great to see him introduce. Was it called like Eagle Fang or something, karate, which is so Johnny Lawrence. Like, he's such a dope, right? He's like, oh yeah, like let's put fangs on a bird. I'm like, sure, mate. But it's cool. I kind of really like that. As a character, great to finally see him. Excuse me, it is late, and I've just been a lot of TV. Yeah, it was great to sort of see him hook up with Carmen. Annoyed that they pulled against the whole. He rejects a visitation with Robbie to spend time with Miguel. And I think it's just one of those moments where you need to kind of realize, again, it's one of those things of like, if he just said, hey, listen, I have to go see my son. He's in juvie. But, like, I want to be here for Miguel. I can be back in, like, 2 hours. Right? Like, and that would have been fine. And I can't think of Carmen's mother's name, but I love that actress. I love the parts that she played. She was only in a little bit, right? Early on with sort of, when Miguel was sort of in hospital, she was very present. It kind of shows you, like, wow. Anyway, I love her as an actress, and again, that's probably one of the female adult actresses I missed earlier, but so cool. Yeah, that's sort of all the characters, right? Let's go through, I guess, and talk about some of the key moments for me. So let's start with the top. I know I just ate it right up, but that moment where like Hawk has that revelation and finally sort of comes to the realization, hey, like Dimitri's my friend, right? They've theoretically been friends since, seems like, they were, grade school, like 5 or 6 years old. They've always been the binary brothers, and it was a great little moment for them to do a little bit of a team up. Them doing that sort of double kick onto one of the Cobra Kai guys right at the end, reminiscent of like what happened in season 2, where like Dimitri kicked Hawk into the trophy case. That came full circle. I didn't talk about Ali, but overall, I think they added her in perfectly. Yeah, I think it was a great moment. Again, it made sense of how they brought her in. Everyone's going like, oh yeah, like, and I was saying this to my friends, like, oh, she's not going to be there to do Mr. Surgery on my girl. It's like, it's just a simple fact of like, dude, her parents still probably live like in Seco, whatever it is, like, so she's just gonna come home for Christmas. Great moment. I'm glad they didn't try to like get them together and try to fuck up the sort of Johnny and Carmen relationship by like them actually kissing, and it was a good way to end it. Loved Ali and Amanda together chatting. Perfect moments. Yeah, but Hawk and Dimitri, it was good to see the Binary Brothers back together, and much love. I love the Binary Brothers. Good to see that resolve. Hated Miguel and Samantha getting back together. I think just no, it's lame. I don't. Excuse me. I don't like that relationship. But anyway, it is what it is. Other cool moments. I liked the fight in the 2 fights in sort of the episode 10. I had the sort of the adult fight right at the end. So like Johnny, who was just trying to defend, trying to almost do Miyagi-Do, right, of like defense only, just blocking and countering. And then even the first time he does anything offensive, it's almost just like a shove, Robbie goes down. It's like, it kind of shows you the gap of like, oh, these kids are meant to be badass, but like really, if the adults even put in an ounce of effort, like it's not even a challenge for them. So it's good to see. The Samantha Tori fight with the weapons. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Like, I don't root for either of these characters, so I don't really care who won, who lost. So I don't know, man. I did like Kreese helping out Tori earlier with the seedy bloody landlord, like ill pedophilia, right? Technically speaking, in universe, Tori's like 16 or 17. That guy's in his late 20s at the youngest man. Like, but guys are out there are like that, and that was a redeeming moment for Kreese. You can tell he cares about the kids in his screwed up, warped way. Yeah, but other than that, that was sort of the key moments of the LaRusso house fight. Meh. That was the key moments, though. Definitely the Hawk Dimitri team up. Loved it. The laser tag fight. Another good scene. Really liked it. It was a good fight. Can't really think of much else to say about it. I'll probably need to go and rewatch it and maybe do another short video on it later. But I think it was good to have that moment where Hawk was so conflicted, and he does end up breaking Dimitri's arm. It was cute that Yasmin did that thing with like the changing the drawing on the cast. It's a redeeming moment. Overall, good fight. The soccer fight was kind of funny. It was kind of funny to see Cobra Kai like be sneaky and snake-like, as it were, to get out of trouble. I like the setup with like, this is why the karate tournament's being cancelled. I'm like, yeah, man. It's a bit cheesy that the kids sort of are the ones to resolve the issue with that, but I get it. It makes sense, man. Like, why? Anyway, I was like, it made sense. Cheesy that it was kids. I like the moment. But overall, yeah. What else to talk about? So season 4 setups. Obviously, we're setting up an All Valley tournament at the end of season 4. You're setting up a Terry Silver, very likely. They've kind of left it open and vague so that they could probably ask pull someone else if they don't actually get the actor in. But overall, that was kind of cool. What else? And that's kind of it. That's the big setup. It's like there's going to be an All Valley. What's really weird is like it kind of felt up like a final season setup. But it seems like, man, like if it's anything like this season, like, man, they can run it for another 3 or 4 seasons, man. Like I said earlier, like 30 minutes ago, like Bert and the other kid, Bert and Nate can absolutely be the ones that sort of replace the other generation. Miguel, Hawk, Sam can obviously still be there as like sensei juniors or whatever. Like they can be training and not necessarily competing. You can explore adult tournaments. It doesn't have to always be the under 18s All Valley, right? You can sort of what happens after you hit 18, man. People still practice karate, and there's still tournaments out there. Random tangent point. The security officer for where I work is I don't really want to reveal too much, but let's just say he has represented Australia on more than one occasion in karate in his adult life, very recently. So I think it was last year, and you can actually look him up. There's actually like YouTube videos of him. I'm like, damn, that guy is just yeah. It's kind of really I guess it's very calming, or it's very reassuring to know that the guy who heads up security for our Australia office is like a very established karate champion fighter. Like he can he's there. So I don't know. It's a weird little side point, nothing to do with Cobra Kai. Yeah, but overall, I don't know. The other thing that I find is really weird. So season 1 was roughly around 8 months timeline, yeah? So it was just before the school year, and it went until about May when the All Valley tournament happened. So about 9 months. Season 2 was like the summer holidays, essentially. So like, what did that, like 2-3 months maybe? And then we had season 3 be like 2 months. Now season 4, we already know that All Valley's in May, and the last episode was in December, so that's like 6 months. Assuming that the All Valley is on episode 10, because why would the tournament be mid-season? But maybe Netflix will say, hey man, the show's gangbusters, like, we're going to order 20 shows instead of 10. But I kind of like the 10 episodes. That's a problem with a lot of US shows, that they go crazy and they have like these 22, 23 episode seasons. And I think it kind of ends up being a lot of things get drawn out. I think the issue we have so much plot that their characters are aging up very fast, and it's starting to get noticeable. It is what it is though, right? But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. I'm at like 37 minutes. But yeah, overall, I really love this season. It was amazing. Now probably about 12 to 15 months before season 4, which is disappointing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a coffee, probably start watching it again. And I don't know, man. Let me know what you guys thought, because I'm blown away. This is like easily my favorite season. Like, I loved it. It's, man, I don't know what else to watch this year, because that set the bar pretty high. At 1:35 a.m. on the 2nd of January, I'm like, is there going to be another season of television that tops this for me? I can't think of anything I'm anticipating more. Maybe the back half of the last season of Vikings. Beyond that, I got nothing. That's all, man. Let me know what your favorite moment or season, moment or character is in the comments below if you've made this far. Like, I don't know what else to say. I loved it. Thank you so much to Josh, John, and the other guy who write and create this show for bringing it back. I might not have been an 80s kid. I was born in the 80s, but obviously I did my schooling in the 90s and the early noughties. So yeah, it's kind of great to see a lot of the throwbacks there. There's so much to talk about, but I've talked enough. Bye. That's all. Yeah, bye.